all kind of, yeah. I would caveat
Lee, to be honest.
I'd caveat what I said by saying I think that, the Toronto, I don't want to call it the Toronto experiment, but the Toronto inclusion for me has my wholehearted backing, and I'd love to see it be a success and allow us to tap into that market and grow the sport in continental America. I think it'd be a wonderful thing, and if it, and if that in some way speeds up Toronto's way into the top table of rugby league in this hemisphere, then so be it, because they have the backers and they may well be run within their own limits. What I'm concerned with is the clubs that exceed their own limits and then break down
how
as a result of that.
They're going to struggle to do that because it's 50% of turnover, and that doesn't include the owner's own backing, as far as I understand. So it'd have to be buying it. Maybe there's ways around it. You could do a Parramatta style, get a deal from a company who then pays something into the...
Oh, we know that historically turns out brilliantly for the clubs, don't we, as well?
But as long as it's not money that's on the club's books, the club can't go into debt for it. So the club itself can still exist. Yeah. The club itself will be fine, but, as long as someone else is then willing to invest into it the next stage. Maybe there might be problems getting invested if the wage bills are too high and that sort of thing, but you can just... it's not great, but you can just cut your cost, cut your cloth accordingly. That's what the design of the thing is for it to do. Yeah. And these clubs that, with all the best will in the world, are not going to become Super League clubs. And a lot of them don't really have genuine aspirations. It'd be nice, but they don't really think about it as the end game. The end game is running still as a centre for the community, as a good club. Yeah. Not to be... competing with Leeds, Rhinos, Wigan and everyone every week.
Yeah. And I sincerely hope that this doesn't cause the loss of that community heart and what have you. And I absolutely take your point. I think you make that very cogently. I hope it doesn't encourage someone to take a massive gamble and lose that. Right.
Well, that worry's always there, especially with clubs.
I mean, it exists anyway, doesn't it?
A historic reputation. Lee have done that more than once in my time. So, for example.
Absolutely. Okay. Catalan Dragons winger Pat Richards will retire at the end of the season. The former man of steel, who has scored more than 3,000 points over 16 seasons in both the NRL and Super League, was under contract until the end of 2017, but will hang up his boots this year at the age of 34. That's still young, 34, Pat. Still young. That's what I tell myself. Richard started his career at Parramatta in 2000.
It's young when you don't get put your body on the line every week.
Yeah.
Not that as a winger he does much of that. But.
I was going to say, yeah. No, I'm encouraging myself more than Pat Richards. You're still young. You're still young. I'm older than most rugby league players now. That's the thing. As you sort of get older, do you kind of...
There's only one player in the Wigan squad.
Mark a stone your life by how old you are compared to professional sports.
There's only one player in the Wigan squad that's older than me, as far as I can think.
I've had to make my peace with the fact that I'm probably not going to be a professional rugby league player now. I'm getting a bit old for it. So, there we go. There's only one player in the Wigan squad that's older than you.
As far as I can tell. As far as I can think off the top of my head.
Is that Lockers?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. That can't be true.
Well...
Feels like it can't be true, but it probably is. Okay, where were we up to? Richards began his career at Parramatta in 2000 before moving to the West Tigers in 2004, where he won the 2005 Premiership title. After 76 appearances and 40 tries in the NRL, he decided to join Wigan in 2006. His 8-year stint with the Warriors was a resounding success, winning 2 Super League titles, 2 Challenge Cup winners' medals in that time. He was also awarded the Man of Steel in 2010 when he finished as the season's top point scorer with 434 points. Richards then went back to Australia in 2014, returning to West Tigers, where he made a further 43 NRL appearances, scoring 26 tries and 342 points. He has scored 9 tries and 174 points this season in 19 appearances for the Catalan Dragons. He's also represented Ireland on 7 occasions, including at the World Cup, scoring 3 tries and netting 34 points. Stellar career. Got to take your hat off to Pat Richards.
Yeah, for my mind, halfway through his first season, one of the worst overseas signings I've ever seen at Wigan. By the time he'd finished, one of the best.
There you go.
The absolute legend. And this, you were watching Shooting Stars clips this week. This prompted me to watch loads of
Pat Richards.
And obviously, in a losing effort against Saints, quite apt this week, his drop goal from 40 metres out, 1 metre in from the touchline will always be a favourite.
That's quite something, wasn't it?
Then there was the penalty from his own half, I think against the the Doggies for West a couple of years ago.
Right.
He had a big drop goal as well that year from about 60 odd metres. There was the try, I think it was early doors last season, that he set up Tedesco. Do you remember?
Not off the top of my head, I'll have to look.
It's hard to explain. Juggled
Yes,
it and threw it back and kicked it over his head.
That's
and then Tedesco caught
right. Yeah, he was falling, the ball kind of dropped and he got his foot to it. And yes, I do remember that.
And then absolutely countless ones for Wigan.
Richard's a Superman.
One of the highlights being the winning drop goal in the comeback game at Aldsall in the playoffs in 2000.
Yeah, that was a great
2008,
night.
Was it? 2008?
2008. No, earlier than that.
No, it was either 8 or 9.
It can't be 9. We were in the playoffs in 2009.
It was 8 then.
We missed out in 2009. Last day against Saints. Right, congratulations, Pat Richards, one of the greats. Absolutely. Salford Red Devils have signed Manly Sea Eagles pair Luke Burgess and Felipe Mateo on deals until the end of the season. Burgess, who's 29, started his career at Leeds Rhinos before spells at South Sydney and Manly in the NRL. Tongan international Mateo, who's 32, has also played for the New Zealand Warriors, Parramatta and London Broncos. And I feel I deserve more credit than I got on Saturday for noticing that his name is an anagram of meat fellatio.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to put that out there again. As a possible...
You got a few retweets and likes. Maybe you caught the internet at that time.
I felt I should have timed it better.
Who was it who came back with the...
That sucks.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I can't remember now. I have to have a look, but it was pretty quick. I think it was a Salford fan, to be honest, or a Lee fan, as I recall. Mark's it? No, not Mark.
Was it not Ryan, a Wigan fan?
I don't know. I'll have to look now. I'd have to look. We get a lot.
Good, anyway.
We get a lot of tweets. Yeah, I was quite pleased with that.
Bemoaning the lack of coverage it got, and then the one person who replied to it with a wit don't have the decency to remember the chap's name.
I had the fucking temerity to forget who you were, but I appreciate you getting in touch, whoever you are. Anyway, we are bringing in a couple of great players as insurance, said Director of Rugby Tim Sheen. That must be great for them to hear that they're insurance players. You can't risk going into the Super 8s and picking up a couple of injuries and finding yourself relegated. Yes, quite right. And this should go well. I mean, you'd think Luke Burgess and Felipe Mateo will carve up against most opposition. They're going to come up. They're going to find it tough against like Leeds and Huddersfield.
Well, what it means
the rest of the time they should romp through.
What it hopefully should mean for Salford is that in the interchange period, their front row doesn't drop off as much as it has been seen to, with Burgess in there alongside the well-performing Kopchak and Griffin.
Yeah.
Felipe Mateo, there's been a lot of talk about him joining Wakefield, possibly for next season. That's been going around for a while, I've seen.
But he hasn't played for Cronulla, so it seems unlikely.
Well, he was never at Cronulla, he was at Manly.
That's why I think he won't be joining Wakefield, sir.
Oh, I'm with you.
Thank you.
But he's an absolute stellar player on his day. Maybe his day isn't as often as it should be, and that's probably always been the problem with Felipe Mateo. But on his day... He's got the potential to be the best back row in the competition. Kind of Dave Taylor like.
Well, that's the problem. That's what I was about to say. For every on his day he's the best back rower in the competition, you've also got a question. Now I know that the decision making at Manly is sometimes questioned by its closer fans, but you've got to wonder why they were so prepared to let someone who could be this good leave the club. And I think it's the other side of that coin, which is that if he's not on his game,
he'll have more days in a lower calibre competition, like the Middle Eights.
You would hope so.
In fact, I'm going to go to a game at Salford to watch it, to see what he gets up to.
Well, there you go.
Because I think he's an entertaining player to watch.
Look at you. Right, there you go. Wakefield Wildcats have signed former England forward Ben Harrison on loan from Super League rivals Warrington Wolves until the end of the season. Harrison had yet to make an appearance this season after having surgery on his wrist, knee and ankle in November. The 21-year-old has played 28-year-old, so I was reading ahead to 211. The 28-year-old has played 211 games in his career with the Wolves and won 3 caps for England from 2010 to 2012. He will not be able to play when the Wildcats play Warrington in the Challenge Cup semi-finals this weekend on the 30th of July. The news comes after it was confirmed that prop Anthony England will miss the rest of the season after suffering a shoulder injury. England was hurt midway through the second half of the Wildcats' 32 points to 44 defeat of St Helens on the 3rd of July. Decent piece of business then. Not a great deal to say about that. He's a workaday player. I quite like Ben Harrison.
He's probably slightly better than workaday, but it's going to be interesting to see how he comes back from not having played in Super League for quite some time after some major injuries.
It was like his rosy cheeks. He's always very rosy cheeked, isn't he? Yeah, it's quite. What's the word? Flush. No.
That'll do.
I'll remember the word.
Good luck to him.
I remember the word. Not immediately.
Wakefield need players coming in, don't they? Because there's more and more injury concerns, and we'll probably talk about their injury concerns when we preview the Cup.
The Cup semi-final, absolutely. Ruddy, that was the word I was going for.
There you go.
Fucking knew I'd get there. Right, Andre Savelio has joined Castleford Tigers on loan from St Helens until the end of the 2016 season. The loan agreement has no recall, and the 21-year-old forward cannot play against St Helens. I'm really excited to be joining the Tigers for the rest of the season, said Savelio. I have a lot of respect for Darryl Powell and the way he coaches, and I'm looking forward to getting straight into training.
That's the kind of quote you say, not, I'll get some games at least. Gene Ormsby. This is what you say, this is what fans want to hear. And Andre Savelio, by all accounts, was one of the standout performers for Castleford.
It's about time he started playing well, though, because he's struggled to recapture his 2014 form so far this season, hasn't he?
He hasn't really played.
2015 form.
He hasn't really played.
He's not been impressive when he has been on the field, though.
Not.
Would you say?
Not consistently, no.
Oh, there you go. We got some feedback on this one, though, from one of our resident St Helens fans, Mark.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Frogmore said, Savelio going to Cass on loan might be good for him to get a run, but I have a feeling he might not wear the red V again. BS. I had him as my best player under the age of 21 last year, so why he fell out of favour I don't know. Either I'm the dummy or KFC is.
Can't see it being you, Frogmore, to be perfectly honest. But staying with St Helens, their outside back, Matty Dawson, has moved to Leeds Centurions for a 5-figure transfer fee. Dawson has agreed a 2.5-year contract with the Centurions. The 25-year-old has played 50 games for St Helens since signing from Huddersfield in 2013. Centre or a winger has crossed the whitewash 16 times in his spell at the Saints and has made a total of 70 appearances in his career. Championship winners.
Hold on.
What?
Someone paid 5 figures. Move on.
Someone paid 5 figures for Matty Dawson.
Yeah,
it's good player.
My 5 figures would have been 5 £1 coins. Then I would have asked for a £5 note back.
Well, clearly, people who are closer to the professional world of rugby league than you feel he's worth.
He might be absolutely cracking at the middle eights level.
He probably will. He'll probably carve up in the middle eights. Right, get him in your dream team, I reckon. Him and Willie Tonga. Championship winners Leeds Centurions have signed Castleford back row forward Danny Tickle. This was what. See, if we're going to talk about silly signings, have signed back row forward Danny Tickle and second row Anthony Maria. Tickler, who's 33, joined immediately on an 18-month contract after his short-term deal with the Tigers. The former England forward started his career at Halifax and has also played for Wigan, Hull FC and Widnes. French international Antonio Maria, who's 29, I didn't think he was that old, will link up with Lee in November ahead of next season on a 2-year deal. The Centurions have also announced that standoff Martin Rigid has signed a new contract until the end of the 2018 season.
We should mention as well, because of the league press release on Sunday as well, wasn't there? Or was it Saturday afternoon?
Saturday
that they've signed Mitch Brown from the Cronulla Sharks reserves.
Yes.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Big signings. And John Hodgson got in touch and said, how the fuck are Lee not breaking the salary cap?
That's an exceptionally interesting question.
Well, the revenues must be sufficient enough to afford all these players. Some people have gone out the door as well.
They do tend to get out and bring in. And, you've got to remember that one of the people that will have been on serious wedge in Rangy Chase might well have cleared up some space for, the remainder of the season and what have you.
Yeah.
So, you don't know. But I'm certain that, given the amount of spending that Lee are doing, that the RFL will be monitoring it accordingly. So,
In terms of Anthony Maria, you're thinking he's older than you expect. That's because he spent a lot of time playing for in the French league rather than in the first team.
There you go. Okay, Leeds Rhinos have agreed to loan Jordan Baldwinson, Josh Walters and Luke Briscoe to Kingston Press Championship side Featherstone Rovers for the remainder of the season, and good luck to the 3 of them in the middle eights.
You wanted a derby against Leeds, didn't you?
We've got a derby.
Yeah.
We've got a real derby.
No, you had a derby against Leeds on Sunday.
Yeah. I'm not biting. They're allowed to loan players and they're allowed to do dual reg, and fuck it. It's ridiculous. We did have a derby. We've got a lot of derbies coming up now. We get to play Halifax twice probably, so that's great. Batley have signed Halifax centre Sam Smeaton ahead of the middle eights, the Bulldogs said in a statement. We have moved quickly to sign Sam Smeaton just before the deadline once we